Hello. In this video I am going to show you how to create a simple but powerful to-do list in Notion. So feel free to open up another tab or do whatever you have to do to follow along. Anyway, let's get right into it. So first off, you obviously want to open Notion and choose where you want to create your to-do list. For the purposes of this video and this tutorial, I will be creating this in a new page. So one of the things I like to do start off is to click these three dots up in the corner and select full width. It just makes sure that the content that you create in Notion allows it to be full width, take up the whole page rather than just be a center column. Next, obviously, if you're in a page, you want to name it. So let's name it to-do list. Pretty obvious. Then next thing that we want to do is press slash and enter an inline database. Okay, so let's inline database. Boom. As you can see, inline database is formed. Again, you can title it if you want. I tend to click hide database title just to make it tidier. Then we need to sort out our columns and actually create the to-do list. So the first thing we need to do is click this first column, edit the name and call it task name or whatever else you want to call it, whether you just want to call it task or anything else. Then next, what we want to do is the tag section. What we want to do is rename it to priority. So essentially now we can edit the property and we can add an option, and now we can actually divide our tasks up into their level of priority. So if we have a high priority, we can then also have a medium priority, and then we can also have a low priority. Now you can add as many different variations of priority as you want to, so you can have immediate, you can have very high, you can have high, medium, low, no priority. You can do whatever you want with this. Customize it until your heart is content. Next, we want to click this plus button and we want to add another property, and this time we want to click type and we want to change it to a date and rename it to due date, D-O date. We then want to add another one, and this time we're going to click type and click date, and we're going to write due date. Oh, didn't let me read. We're going to write due date. So your due date, DO date, is the date that you want to complete the task on, while your due date, DUE date, is the date that the task needs completed by. That is the deadline for that task. I also want to add that for the likes of your due date, when you're selecting a date, let's say I want to do whatever task this is tomorrow, we can include a time. So we can include, if I want to do this task at 9 AM, we change the time, and if we click, there we go, we can see the due date and the actual time you want to do this task at. This means you can actually plan your day as well with this to-do list by giving each task that is due tomorrow or today, depending on when you plan your day, a certain time. So let's get rid of that. We don't need that right now. The next thing we need to do is click this plus again. We need to add another column, click type, and then select checkbox and rename it to complete ? So now every time we complete a task, we can click the checkbox and actually show us that the task has been completed and that we have completed the task. That is done. We don't need to worry about it anymore. So let me actually fill in a few tasks here. So I have went and I have filled out a few tasks. So you can see that we have edit YouTube video, which is a medium priority, and I have the due date, so I want to do it tomorrow at 4 PM, but it is not due to the 26th, which is Friday. Then we have client work, which is a high priority. Again, I want to do it tomorrow at 12 PM, but it is not due till tomorrow at 5 PM. I then have to plan a project, which is a low priority, and I want to do it tomorrow at 10 AM, but it is not due to Saturday at 10 AM. And then whenever I complete those tasks, I can just click complete, lay out there to show I have completed them. Now, this view is the standard table view. However, you can click here, edit view, or actually you can click the plus button, which will show you a different view, and you can choose one of these views here. So for example, you have the list view, simple, like this here. Now, as you can see, it only shows the priority property. So if you click these three dots, you can choose the properties to show. So we can click to show all these properties like this, and you can see it will show you all the properties. So priority, if they're done, the due date, and then the due date. However, I actually prefer this view. This view I'm about to show you, the timeline view, is my favorite view. So as you can see, here is a timeline view. It is literally a timeline, and you can choose a time scale for this timeline up here. So it is currently a month, so you can see the whole of August and the beginning of September in this timeline view. However, if you click month and you choose week, it shows you the week, and it shows you what tasks you have to do on each day of that week. You can then click week again and select day, and it will show you the exact times on each day that you want to complete each task. So if I go tomorrow, 23rd, you can see at 10 a.m. I want to plan the project, 12 p.m. I want to do my client work, and at 4 p.m. I want to edit a YouTube video. So you can see how it works. I love this view. If you've seen the tour of my productivity dashboard on Notion, you'll know that this is at the very top of my dashboard. This is the view that I love to use. Now you can actually have these two views separately. So if we go and we delete the timeline view and we delete the list view, so we are left with just the original table view, we can click these 6 dots here, click duplicate, and I will create this to-do list again down here. I will duplicate it. You can then click the table, you can then click edit view, and then you can click layout, and then you can click timeline, and again you're back here. Now your timeline might come up with showing the tasks by their due date here, so there's one on the 23rd, 26th and 27th. We don't necessarily want that. However, you can have your own timeline for due date, but if you want it for due date, you can click layout timeline, and then see here show timeline by, it's currently in due date, we want it by due date, and then you can see all these tasks based on their due date. You can then click month and go down to week, you can then click week, go down to day, you can go over and you can see the tasks and the time and day they're due. Now you can also add a filter to these tables. So if we go back up to the original table view, we click filter, we can add a filter by completed tasks. So if we click filter, click complete, we can then say complete is unchecked. So that means any task that we have not yet completed, because the checkbox for complete is not yet ticked, we will still see the task and know that we still have to do it. But if, for example, I edited the YouTube video, I can click complete and it disappears. The same goes for the rest of the tasks, and of course you can do this for the timeline as well. However, for the timeline, you'll have to click these 3 dots, you'll have to click properties, and you will have to click this wee eye icon on the complete so that it shows the checkbox beside them. And again, you can click filter, you can click complete. Complete is unchecked, and then whenever they are checked, that means they are complete, and you can make them disappear like that. So let's say we had edited our YouTube video and we click complete, so it disappeared. If we wanted to see what tasks we have completed, we can simply click the filter and change the filter to say complete is checked, and it will show the tasks that we have completed. So with the timeline, it shows you automatically what task is due first and what task you want to do first, depending on which view you have it. But for the table or for the list, you can actually sort them by their due date. So we can click sort, we can click due date, and therefore you can see due date ascending, and the task, which is plan project, which we want to do on the 23rd of August at 10 a.m. so it's the earliest one out of these 3, is at the top. Again, we can click complete when it's done and it disappears. Now if you actually want these 2 inline databases to be linked, what you can do is click this plus button, which will allow you to enter a new block, and you can type in linked and it will come up linked view of database, right? You can then click it and then it will come up select data to source, find the right database that you want to link it to or to-do list, click it, and it will automatically again essentially duplicate the original to-do list. However, we can then click table, we can then click edit view, we can then click timeline, we can then click due date, and it will show us a timeline view which is also linked to the original table view. So if, for example, we entered our tasks here, so let's say we had to walk the dog, so walk the dog, and it's a medium priority, and we want to do it on August 23rd at include time 11 a.m. you can see that it actually ends up appearing on this timeline view. So you can use a linked view of your original database, the to-do list, to create a timeline view which is linked so that you can see both a list of your to-do list as well as a timeline view of when you have to do it. Again, you can also link these to multiple pages, so you don't have to have both these views on the same page. You simply create your linked view on a different page. Anyway, that is how you can create a simple but powerful to-do list in Notion. It is incredibly simple, but it is also incredibly powerful. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you will love this video here on how I stay productive with a simple Notion productivity system. Go check it out, and if you don't want to miss out on any future content, click that subscribe button. Ross out.